The days of Marvels has passed them by, where once lived a planet filled to the brim with legendary superheroes who could swing from building to building, fly with the power of fire, or even fight for your country in the form of a star-spangled banner. His name is Steve Rogers. He's old now, but you know what he stands for. One of Earth's mightiest heroes, but that's in the past. Thanks to whatever happened on Hero Day, the age of heroes is over. The superhero community simply doesn't exist anymore. Welcome to the world of tomorrow, where corrupt governments control free speech, civilians have no rights in the places they live. Chip Zdarsky and Daniel Acuna present a new vision of Marvel's future. A future where the heroes of old must fight for a glimpse of the past. This is Avengers Twilight. In a future where the Avengers are government-funded clowns in suits who do anything for James Stark, aka Iron Man's son, who has inherited the wealth of Iron Man, and also, unfortunately, every other personality trait Iron Man has, other than his heroism, obviously. So that means the world is basically run by a tatted up trust fund kid with a hatred for heroes of old. He is currently still making Iron Man armour, but not for himself, but for the President's private army. But he goes on to say that he already did make it, but he has no more ideas. But Jarvis, his mentor, not Butler, that was his brother, he says that he should go visit the raft for more ideas. But what would be the reason he'd go visit a high security prison built for superheroes? James Stark eventually arrives at his destination, but the overseer of the facility warns James that he respects that he's the only one that can make contact, but too much usage could cause irreparable damage. But he doesn't care. He enters and prepares to take care of family business. Iron Man is now just a floating head in a tank, and James is using his mind to create new inventions to profit from. Hey Dad. Now, on to book 2. I did a deep dive into book 1 in this video here if you want to check that out. But without further ado, let's begin. New York will always be, well, New York. But that doesn't give anyone the excuse to beat up old homeless men. Especially not on his watch. An old Captain America has been given a new lease on life for the second time now. He just recently got injected with the super serum for the second time, and he's back in action. The Avengers of this age are powerful, but what's power if you don't have any heart? The people aren't impressed. That ain't Cap, an old woman mutters to herself. She's apparently been hearing rumours that he's back, but the news will never report on it. Meanwhile, an old Luke Cage held up by an exoskeleton as his bones have become too hard to move. He's heard all he needs to. Back at their secret base, Cap and the others are going over the next play. They want to make a public play to announce to the world that someone is looking out for everyone, still. But the government control all live events. It's impossible. But there's one opening, the New Year's Eve event in Times Square. It will be broadcast all over the world. Wars are not fought on the battlefield anymore, but in the minds of the people. Public perception is the ultimate swing vote. Luke arrives back and they have a little talk. He explains that he understands that he wants to help everyone, but their underground facility is getting full. But Steve can't leave anyone behind, because that's who he is. But he has probably forgotten the most important person to him of all, Rosa, his partner. He took on this mission without even consulting her first. She thought he was beyond the superhero life. But sorry is not enough. It won't cut it this time. Since she can't go home, she will help patch him up if need be. But him and her are over. Go fight your war, Steve, she says, in both anger and sadness. At the White House, James and Jarvis are visiting the President as he is worried about the rumours that Cap's back. but they're not worried. They'll just send in the Thunderbolts. But the president is shocked. He won't let a war happen on American soil. "Who do you think you are?" he says. But Jarvis responds with, "I'm the CEO." While the president screams for help, "I'm the CEO of America, and you're just a mascot." He explains the secret to the Secret Service is that they work for James, and he reminds the president that so does he. Meanwhile, a woman is seeing her kids off to school, then sitting down to watch TV as it plays footage of the new Avengers talking about the American way. He gives a good speech. "Hi Kamala, I need your help." Miss Marvel is in shock. She can't believe who's in front of her right now. He shouldn't be here. But he goes on to say it's important. The Avengers need to... "Those are the Avengers, Steve. We lost everything on H-Day." She doesn't understand why he would even come here. She has a family. But he tries to guilt trip her into fighting by mentioning it's for her children. But she tells him to get out. And he reminds her of what he's heard. He's heard of people being saved by a giant hand, like the hand of God. Before he leaves, he mentions that the Dark Avengers protocol is in effect. "Goodbye, Kamala." She stares off into the distance until finally heading down to the basement and listening to her old police radio. It's time. It's New Year's Eve. They're staking out Times Square. The ground team take out 2 soldiers standing guard. They're hacking into the system, but they're seen by more guards. It's not just normal guards anymore. It's the Thunderbolt guards. Steve kicks into action, taking out one, then another. But even with his super soldier serum, his knees still aren't the same. They throw the broadcast set up to Cap as the Thunderbolts fire on civilians. Cap is shocked. He smashed one of their heads in, reminding them that there are hundreds of innocent people here. That's when the guard shouts, "Bullseye, you on him or what?" And if we know anything about someone called Bullseye, it's that they don't miss. But they shoot the broadcast system instead, strangely. They have to do it manually now. They throw Cap the microphone and it begins. "My name is Steve Rogers. You know who I am, and you know what I stand for. Your government has stolen away your freedom. The Watcher Act isn't there to protect you. It isn't there to protect your privacy. It's there to protect them, to make it so you never see what they're doing. To the world, to the disenfranchised. It's so light never shines on their crimes, so you never see the people who suffer in order for you to thrive. That's not who we are. We're Americans. We look out for people. We don't turn our backs. And now that you know, you can begin to be free again. Together we can fight back. We can help people." His speech is cut short as they have arrived to take him away. They must go. They're given orders to take them down. But they run into an abandoned building and emerge on motorbikes ready for the chase. They start to shoot and one of them goes down. But Cap never leaves a soldier behind and grabs him to safety. Back at Stark's, he's putting together that new armour for the soldiers. He got the last piece he needed from his dad's head. But Jarvis doesn't want the suit for the army. He wants James to use them. But James doesn't want to. It's the only way to stop Steve Rogers. He won't attack knowing his friend's son is inside that machine. Iron Man is your destiny, James. Tony Stark and Janet Van Dyne didn't sire a fool, and I didn't raise a coward. Jarvis is contemplating something when a voice says, "You're losing control," as he gets flashbacks to H-Day. Hardly. There are bumps along the way. But if there's one thing I've learned from you, it's patience. You didn't have enough of it on H-Day. And so you lost. I watched you lose and thought to myself, how does a robot not have patience? Ultron and Jarvis, aka the Red Skull, made a deal. Once he sets the world into shape and eventually departs, the robots can have their way with it for millennia. Let Ultron bring Earth into its next era of greatness. Meanwhile, back at base, Cap is feeling like he lost because people aren't reacting the way he wanted to his speech. It's a different world, and he has to come to terms with that. But Luke slaps him out of it. Enough of your American dreams, sad speeches. Bad people are doing bad things, so we need to stop them, and that's it. But they actually might have a breakthrough. They have an inside scoop on their secret weapon. But they'll need help. From the world's smartest man. Tony Stark. Well, that's book 2, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed this issue and this series. I really like it, actually. It's such a, how do I explain it? A breath of fresh air to what Marvel usually puts out these days. And thanks for all the love on the last video. I really do appreciate it. It's my biggest video I've ever posted actually now. So if you like this video, like, comment, share, subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. And peace.